we are gonna do a little boiling crab mukbang. I don't really know if it's a mukbang, if it's not like a disgusting amount of food, but this is just like a normal amount of food, but it's delicious. So this is the boiling crab. This is like corn. Oh my gosh, look at it, it's so good. I got 2 because I always save one for my husband, so I'm only gonna be eating 1. But he loves this corn too. I think they gave me the wrong sauce, to be real with you, because I said garlic butter and it looks like they put like the red sauce in it, but whatever. So I wanted to do this like little mukbang and then talk about the fucking Trump assassination attempt, because holy shit, like I need to get so much stuff off my chest about it, even though I don't really have anyone to talk about it about other than my husband, and we've like at length, ad nauseum discussed it already. So we're gonna do this. This is like really messy, so I'm gonna take my rings off and pull my hair back for this to be able to eat, because I don't want to get all this shit all over everything. I don't want hair in my food. It's too delicious for that. So we are going to just tie it back. And oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys have ever had boiling crab. I'm sure that there's like something like it in every city or every town or whatever, but this one is just like phenomenal. Like the first time I had it, I was just fucking blown away. So I get the shebang shrimp and it comes with like jasmine rice underneath. And honestly, like you don't have to do shit to this. Like it's already delicious, like just as it fucking is. But it's also really good if you like dip it in this sauce and shit. So, okay. Get my napkins ready because this is gonna be a messy ass meal and it's perfect. It's gonna be a messy ass conversation because, oh my God. So, let me start off by saying that, look at that. It's so good too. One time I fucking looked up the calories on this and I was like, oh my God, this can't be right, because it seems like it's just shrimp, you know, like it's like, and it's not even fried. Like if you could, it's not like it's got a layer of breading or like friedness on it, but it just has like a little light, it seems like a dusting of seasoning and maybe like lightly pan fried, but it's not like breaded, you know? And so I was expecting it to be like relatively healthy, but let me just squeeze this lemon on here. I was expecting it to be like relatively healthy, and then one time I fucking looked up the damn calories in it and I damn near fell out of my fucking chair. Like I was like, no, like how is that possible? I still think it has to be wrong because it was like, it has to have more protein than that. It has to have more this. I don't know what the fuck in it could, but it acted like it was so high in calories, but I haven't had it since then because of that. But this is all I'm gonna fucking eat today, and I still am gonna tell myself that that calorie counter thing I saw was wrong. So cheers. Fuck. It's so good. Like, damn. The first time I ever ordered this, I just sat here and I wasn't even like filming or anything, like just by myself, just like moaning, like, ugh, it's so good. Like, I was just blown away. I had heard people talking about these like boiling places, these like Cajun places, seafood boil stuff, but I had never had it. And when I finally got this, I was blown the fuck away. And so this one has like, see all the seasoning in there and shit, and it's got jasmine rice underneath the shrimp. Which is bomb too, but I'm not trying to waste my calories on the rice right now. Let me get one of these corns out so that it's like readily available. Look at that. Look at that shit. I'm gonna put it on the lid over here. Okay, so let's get into it. So my husband and I are like staunch, like poli-sci people. Like we're political science majors in undergrad, and then we're both lawyers. So we're like really into this stuff. We're really geeks about it. We're not like normal. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like politics. I don't follow politics or whatever. I'm gonna get every piece of this shrimp out, girl. Like, this little piece of this shrimp is not escaping from me. I'm gonna get it out. Yes. There's a whole nother piece, like, almost lost that. Too good. So, a lot of people I know like to act like they don't follow politics or like whatever, but we're big into politics. We follow all sides of it. Like, we're super interested by it. We want to run. I want my husband to run for office one day. We like live and breathe this shit. It affects our policy. It affects everything about what we do. So, we're about that life, you know? So, between the two of us, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for this food. Damn. Between the two of us, we have alerts set on our phones for like every major presidential candidate. So he's got alerts set for Biden and Trump. And then I've got alerts set for RFK Jr. and Cornel West, which I know it's like a lot of people are like, that's a joke. They're not like real candidates, but they are real candidates. They just don't have any chance of winning because of our system. But anytime any of those four speak or go live or anything, you can't even wear makeup when you wear this food when you eat this food because like it like clears your fucking sinuses out. I get the hottest spice level. It's got like 4 spice options. Like, I get the hottest one. It's called XXX. Yo, it's so good, but it does clear your sinuses out a bit. So you're gonna see me rubbing my nose and stuff, but I got all my napkins over here, so it's all good. So anytime any of those 4 people speak, we get alerts on our phone. Like, they're going live, they're about to speak, whatever. No, we're not always both home at the same time when it happens. We miss some of them, you know, obviously, like, we got work and shit. But, like, if we're both home and not doing something else, we'll turn it on because we just want to see it. So, on Saturday, we were watching the Trump assassination attempt live, bitch. Like, live. Like, we didn't hear about it afterwards and then have to go Google the clips and only watch the edited versions and clips that the mainstream media wanted you to watch. Like, we were watching the whole fucking thing live. We got the alert. And full disclosure, we were high too. We had just gotten back from the dispensary with our favorite joints that we only smoke on the weekends. All right, let me get one of these. Let me get one of these bites in. Fuck. See, I love this sauce, but I don't know if my husband likes it as much, so I'm a little worried that he's not gonna like his piece because it came with the red sauce. But it's so good. It's so flavorful. I gotta be careful because now I'm gonna have fucking corn in my teeth. Okay. We had just come back from the dispensary. We got our favorite joints. And I was like, I did get corn stuck on my tooth. Let me just focus on the shrimp. And he was like, oh, Trump's about to speak live. His rally's going on. Like, should I put it on? We always like watching something for Jay. And I was like, yeah, throw it on. Like, put it on. Why not? And so we're watching it. And fucking live, we hear the shots. Unmistakably gunfire. Like, there was no question in my fucking mind that it was gunfire immediately. Everyone was acting like, what was that? We don't know what it was. We don't want to speculate. We don't want this. But it could have been firecrackers, blah, blah. Like, everyone always acts like they could confuse gunshot with firecrackers. And let me tell you something. You can only confuse gunshots for firecrackers if you've never heard gunfire before. Like, it only can be mistaken if you have never heard gunfire before. Because then you're like, what? Like, because you're almost in disbelief. Like, what could that be? It can't be gunfire, you know? But, like, I have unfortunately heard gunfire before. We've had issues, incidents, whatever. It's a whole nother thing I'm not going to get into. But we've had incidents in buildings we've lived in and neighborhoods we've lived in, and unfortunately I know exactly what gunfire sounds like, and to me it was unmistakably gunfire. And then, you know, you've all seen the clip now. He drops down, he touches his ear, he drops down, and I'm watching it and I'm like, they just shot at him. Someone just fucking shot at him. And I was the first one, I texted all my friends like, Trump shot, you know, like, and everyone was like, how did you know so fast? Like, I heard it from you before the news was reporting it or anything. And I was like, because we were fucking watching it live. We're probably one of like the 1% of people that watch shit like that live. Like, and it was like, we were watching it live. And immediately, you could tell that it had come from like the roof over there. If you had seen the wide angles of the shots, you could tell where it came from. And I immediately, like within minutes, was like, this is a major security failure. Like something you sweep every building, you sweep every roof, right? And it's like, I'm very aware of security protocols. I'm not trying to like act like I'm some, you know, like I'm not personally in law enforcement or the military, but I have lots of family members who are, lots of friends who are, because we're attorneys, we work with law enforcement all the time, different kind of levels of things. And I have a brother that's a former Navy SEAL. I have like, you know, not that like I called him and got his opinion on this or anything, but I'm just saying like, I've heard lots of conversations over the years about security protocol and these sorts of things. I've attended conferences where there was like a major keynote speaker in the legal community, like where I've attended conferences where Obama was speaking. I've attended conferences where Eric Holder was speaking when he was still the acting attorney general. And I've been there, seen when there's a high profile person, especially someone with Secret Service protection, they come, they get on that stage like days before, and then the morning of, they stand at every point on the stage. They stand where he's going to be sitting. They look, they identify all the threats. Like, there's no fucking way that roof was not identified as a threat and that it should have had a manned officer on the top of it, right? So this is before we knew anything. This is before all the other insane, ridiculous details continue to come out about what they're trying to fucking have us swallow with this shit. Like, the idea, like, this is before we knew anything about the shooter, before we knew any of the details. I was just like, on its face, something went really wrong, because no one should have been able to be on a roof or from any kind of elevated angle in that direction. I will say it was one of the most badass, coolest fucking things I've ever seen in my life when he stood up. And like, first of all, the clip, a lot of people haven't been showing the full clip, but I've seen some have. I don't want to say that they're all not. Like, I've seen that some have been showing it. Like, where before he does the fist pump, the iconic, you know, like, fight, fight, fight. Before he did that, he was like, where are my shoes? Give me my shoes. Like, and they were trying to usher him off the stage, and he was so concerned about his shoes. Like, he didn't want to leave the stage shoeless. And I thought that was really, like, funny, too. Not funny, but, like, indicative of him as a person, like, how he is. Like, he kind of recognized that this was going to be a major moment in American politics forever, and he didn't want to appear, like, weak and rattled, you know? And so he was initially like very concerned about his shoes, but we were just so happy when he stood up and he saw when he went down, they were on top of him for a while before he came back up, where we were like, holy shit, did they just shoot him in the head? Like, but when he dropped down, he had seemed okay. It seemed like he had just touched his ear. You know, now we've all seen it, but we didn't have the benefit of watching the replay a million times at this point. We're just like watching live. So when they were on top of him, we were like, oh my God, he's not hurt, is he? Like, I was thinking, was he hit somewhere else that we couldn't see? Like, when he stood up, I don't care what the fuck you think about Donald Trump. I don't care who you voted for in the past, who you plan on voting for this time. I don't care what the fuck your politics are. There's no way that you can be with a straight face and say that was one of the coolest fucking things ever. Like, and the most, like how many people will get shot like that, just came within a centimeter of life, and then like gathered themselves and reacted like that, and then was like recognized the moment and would be like, you know, fight in front of a fucking American flag and shit. So the funny part was like, I texted all my friends and I was like, oh my God, Trump shot, blah, blah. And by the time they saw the clips, it was like hours later. And they were like, oh, all liberal progressives, by the way. Like, I don't have many conservative friends. And every single one of them said the same thing. They were like, fuck, it's over. We just lost the election, you know? And then like one of them was like, that picture of him with his fist in the air and the blood coming down his ear, that's gonna win him the election. That's gonna be like the defining moment. And I was like, bro, he had just seen like a little size one, like a cropped one from the first time he did it. He hadn't seen the one with the American flag and shit. I was like, bro, there's a fucking American flag behind him, you know? But like, yeah, it's like you can't, that was objectively badass and cool, and the only way you would want an American to respond to something like that, like the coolest way possible to handle something like that. And then the details of all the bullshit start coming out, and it's like how, and then we immediately saw an interview with the guy in the red. He had his hair dyed red and had like a red, I don't know if it was like a headband or a hat, I'm just going off of memory, but it was like an all red. And he had like a beer in his hand, like, and he was like, we were having a big party in this field right here all day because we didn't go into the rally. We just held a party right next to it. They like owned some farm right next to it. The big field that was right next to it, they were in that one. And he was like, we saw the guy on the roof and ran to get the police officers, like and it's just like and then this stuff starts coming out. And it's like, this guy, the first guy we saw, the one I'm describing, he claimed that they all saw him on the roof. He ran to get the police, and the police were just like, ooh, what? Like, and like not responding, not treating it with the seriousness that it deserved, not even like coming to look, and they were like acting like they couldn't see it from where they were. And like he was just fucking with them or something. And he was like, well, just come see. You can see it from where we're all standing. He's got a gun. He's got a rifle. He's bear crawling on the fucking roof, you know? And he's going, I'm wondering why they haven't pulled Trump off the stage yet. He's like, we're still trying to get the law enforcement to come over to our side and look at the guy and do something. And Trump's still speaking. And he's like, why hadn't he been told get off the stage? Why hadn't he been told there was a threat yet? Like, why was he still allowed to just continue with his speech like nothing was happening when for 3 minutes, he said 3-4 minutes, they were like screaming at police that there was a shooter on the roof and that they could see the sniper that eventually we're told killed the guy. They could see him on the opposite roof, and the sniper was looking at them and looking at the guy on the roof, and they were just like pointing at the guy on the roof like, what the fuck are you doing? And so we saw that interview and our jaws just like dropped, you know, just like completely dropped. Like we were like, how is that real? Like if what he just said was true and it did not seem false at all, he was saying I was in a whole field of people, everyone saw it. It's like, how is that possible? How could anyone have been allowed on the roof? So it's just like, it does not pass credulity. And so we were immediately like, what the fuck? And immediately after that guy, we saw another guy come on say basically the exact same thing. Like, I'm not gonna waste time like doing the exact reenactment, but almost word for word the same thing. Said he was in the field too, and that he kept trying to get them to come over and look at it. So we know that they were aware of this threat, and now details are coming out saying they had someone posted inside the building instead of on top of it. Now we're being told this guy somehow got a big ass fucking industrial ladder, carried that huge ass ladder, like, and got that there. We're told that they saw this guy screaming and being crazy outside of the convention, that they were warned about him, that he had been identified as a person to keep an eye on, and then you were being told that they had people inside the building but not on top of it, but somehow this guy, this little noodle-armed fucking kid, 20-year-old kid, who we're also told was rejected from the shooting club in high school because he was such a bad shot, somehow he got a rifle and a giant fucking ladder in between these two buildings where we're told people were stationed, and then he crawled up the ladder with snipers on the opposite roof watching him, completely in their line of sight, and bear crawled with the rifle, got him position, and he's doing this as fields of people and onlookers and bystanders are screaming at police and Secret Service that there is a guy on the roof with the rifle, and they still let him get off 5 shots? That doesn't make any motherfucking sense, y'all. Like, use your fucking heads. It doesn't, politics, put away politics. I've never voted for Trump. I fucking might this time just because of this, because this is just all too suspicious. Like, this might have tilted the needle for me, I'm gonna be real. But I haven't fully decided yet. I still have some more like reflection and prayer to do about it. But like, I am not like his biggest fan or anything. I'm not like a ride or die for him. I've never voted for him in either election. But whatever your politics are, you are a terrible American who doesn't really love America if this doesn't seem fucking ridiculous to you. Like, if you're not like, what the fuck? And then on the other side of that, I'm gonna say this too. Anyone saying it's staged, go fuck yourself. They blew a guy's head off. This innocent poor guy with his wife and daughter had his fucking head blown off. And that's the other thing. It's like, we saw the immediate interviews, the immediate aftermath. We saw all the people getting evacuated. Our live stream that we were watching stayed on for like, after it happened and they rushed him off the screen, our live stream stayed on, and just like as everyone was like, they were getting them off the bleachers and evacuating them and getting them out, and like we just watched the whole thing unfold like in shock. And we heard all these firsthand accounts, like right then, right in the immediate aftermath, that now the media is doing their best to like clean up and not show you these. And now it's really hard to find these. But we saw it all live as it was happening. And we heard a woman saying 3 people in her section got shot, and that one of them, their brains were all over the fucking place. And it's like, oh my God, so anyone is saying it's staged, you have to be the most idiotic person in the entire world. I'm not going to use the R word, but like, use your brain for a second, okay? Use your brain. Who in their right mind would allow a bullet to come that close to their fucking head? No one, okay? You can't stage that. You do something wrong and you're dead. There's no one in their right mind who would do something like that. The other alternative is like that no bullet really even went by. That guy just didn't even get his head blown off, and that he just, cut his ear when he went down like a pro wrestler. Like they all got on top of him and cut his ear, and we're like, all right, it's gonna make it look like a bullet graze. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're a complete delusional idiot. Like, I don't even know what the word is for you. I don't know if you're more delusional or more stupid or like some magical combination of both to have to believe that. But that's like a true level of derangement that I didn't really think was possible. And then I kept hearing all these people saying it, and I was like, y'all are truly cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, y'all have lost your damn minds. So it's like, clearly it happened. Bullets were fired. His ear was grazed. 1 person was killed, 2 people were critically injured, and the question is, how could something like this have been allowed to happen? That's the fucking question. And the more things come out, it's just so obvious that this was an inside job or that it was allowed to happen. When we watched the replay of the sniper taking the shooter out, I could clearly see, in my opinion, he looked really confused. You can watch that wide angle, and you can see that he's got the guy in his sights for like probably maybe like 30 whole seconds. You can tell he sees him before that he physically sees him like probably for like 2 whole minutes. But then there's a moment where you can see he's now actually tracking him in his rifle, that he's like got him in the line of sight. And it looks to me like he's getting instructions in his ear that are confusing to him, that he's wondering, why are they not letting me take this guy out? Like, what am I supposed to do? Let him shoot first? And that's exactly what they did. They didn't shoot until he shot. if anyone's ever seen the footage of JFK's assassination, and there's that moment when you're watching it, go and watch it if you've never seen it. It's hard for me to believe any American has not seen it, but I guess a lot of people just like don't go into that kind of thing. So I guess, whatever. Go look it up if you've never seen it. There's this part of it where the Secret Service detail, who are on either side of the car, they're running on both sides of the car, and you can clearly tell that they get some kind of command in their ear that is very confusing to them and that they disagree with, and they're torn between like following orders that they're being given and like whatever their intuition is telling them this is not right. And they are running alongside the car, one of them on each side of it. And then you can tell they get some kind of instructions, and they both just let go of the car and stop detailing the car, and they let it go. And that is like exactly the vibe I got from this sniper. Like, it looked like he was getting stand down orders like, don't shoot, don't shoot. And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's a guy with a gun on the rifle aimed at Donald Trump. Like, and he didn't know why he was being given those orders. And that's my opinion anyway. Rich thinks that maybe that sniper was in on it, but it's like, to me, he looked confused. And I think that if you're gonna arrange something like this and it truly is an inside job, you don't tell people like that. You don't tell people like that. You rely on the moment and giving those stand down orders and like the confusion of the moment. You can't have too many people knowing something like this, you know? So it's just, drop your comments, drop what you think happened, drop any other details that you think are relevant. And I just think that in this day and age, like when JFK happened, we didn't have smartphones, we didn't have cameras, we didn't have the benefit of all this. This time in 2024, do not let them run train on you. Do not make a fucking fool of you. Like, you don't have to, like, we have hundreds of eyewitnesses who all had cameras and phones in their hands. We have it from every angle available. We have all of this information. We have eyewitness accounts. Like, we don't have to wait 30 years for the investigation like we did for JFK. Like, don't be stupid. You listen to your eyes, listen to your ears, listen to your intuition telling you what the fuck happened. And on that, I'm gonna eat this last shrimp and sign the fuck off.
Rap City on that.